Corporation Limited, we invite you to this SKOCH Award nomination presentation for implementation of 5S workplace management system in GSECL. So Gujarat State Electricity Corporation Limited, that is GSECL, was incorporated in August 93. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of Gujarat Electricity Board, and it is actively involved in the field of generation of power. The total installed capacity of GSECL as on 30th September is 7,000 plus megawatt, which includes coal-based, lignite-based, gas-based, renewables, hydros, etc. These are the various photographs of our power generating sites. Now, why we went for this implementation of scheme of 5S, that the initial problem faced by GSECL included low retrievability of useful items like documents, materials, unorganized workplace was there, trash allowed to accumulate, old records stacked, sometimes delay in attending the water leakages, poor housekeeping. So all this problem faced led to the decision of going for 5S implementation. Why this is a unique nomination? Because it involves a management commitment and involvement of each and every employee of our organization, lead to the best utilization of the available space, control of wastage of time and resources. That is, after rearrangement of everything, our time management is also better. And this is the scheme with multifold benefits. So our implementation started with the framing of 5S policy, which states that Gujarat GSECL commits to continuously enhance productivity, quality, safety, and environmental standards, employee morale, cost and waste reduction to create good habits, and also to improve the work culture by successfully implementing the 5S practices. And this is approved and signed by our managing director. Our goal objective was reducing the retrieval time of the documents and materials in 60 seconds, zero accidents, inventory control, and scrap management. This was the roadmap for 5S implementation, followed at all our various sites across the Gujarat state. And our journey started in December 2020, and we received the certification by June 22. Sorry. This is the method followed by us for the Deming-Will PDCA cycle, that is planning, doing, checking, and action for continuous improvement. Now, the journey started with the management commitment that we received the directive to go for this implementation from our top authorities, that is our managing directors. Then we framed the policy, we planned our objectives. Then for following the process structure, we went for the apex committee formation, steering committee formation at all various levels, and myself was the chief 5S coordinator, looking after the implementation all across the GSECL sites. And each and every site has the steering committee, 5S coordinator, and every site was divided into various zones, and with zonal leaders and deputy leaders looking after those activities. So involvement of each and every employee was there by giving them certain responsibilities. Then for creating awareness, initially 5S related training was given to each and every employee, and each and every employee was given some of the other responsibilities according to their capacity. Then to check whether it is carried out as per launch, as per plan or not, we used to discuss these activities during the steering committee meetings, and whatever problems faced by the zonal leaders were resolved.
Now, what exactly 5S is? 5S is basically a Japanese workplace management concept which was adopted by GSECL. The first S is the SERI, that is reorganizing. That is basically sorting the necessary and the unnecessary items and discarding the items that are not useful to us. The not useful items are also for certain time kept into the red tag area so as to retrieve it if it is urgently needed within a specific span of time. The second S, that is sit on, that focuses on the neatness. Basically, the items that we have kept that were useful in the first step, we basically arrange them and label it neatly so as to retrieve it when in the least possible time. We follow the PEEP concept for its implementation, that is a place for everything and everything at its place. The third is the seesaw, in which we focus on the cleaning on micro as well as macro level to shine on the substances and the equipments. The fourth is the shiketsu, that is standardization, wherein we create different SOPs and abide by them to implement the 5S. The last is the shitsuke, that is discipline. In this we follow different concepts for habitualizing the employees with the concept, that is we follow 5 minutes 5s in the morning before the work to incorporate into the behavior of the employees. Now this was how the 5s was done, and now how to keep a check on these activities. There were several audits that were conducted at different levels. The first one was the self audit, which was conducted by the zone members themselves, and the frequency was kept on a monthly basis. The second is the management audit, which was conducted by the qualified auditors, and this was carried out on a quarterly basis. The third is the third party audit that is the 5S certification audit, which was carried out by QCFI Vadodara chapter, and GSECL, having successfully complied by all the pre-certification audit points, have achieved the 5S certification for corporate office as well as all its power generation sites. Now GSECL is also going towards the periodic audits of the 5S implementation to ensure its continuity. Next is the act, which involves the monitoring of the habits and the reflex action among the employees, like how well they have adopted to the concept. So like I said, we follow the 5-minute 5S concept in the morning for habit formation. We also appreciate the employees, those who are actively participating in the 5S implementation, to encourage them. Next is we identify the distorted habits and remove the distortion. For example, we have reduced the number of printers so as to stop or to check the amount of record generation at the source itself. And the last is the continuously reinforce and improve behavior. That is, we have set the standards and set the frequency of various activities to continuously implement this. To change and adoption, operation and team issues, communication issues, all of these were the challenges, but we resolved each and every one through persuasion and training at all levels. This is the competition scrutiny of how the table of how the 5S related competition was held and the scrutiny was done. A 5S March Pass was also held, and trainings at several levels were given for 5S awareness at all the levels. The 5S poster display was carried out at all the sites. The 5S pledge was being taken at every first day of the first working day of month, and the appreciation is also given to the employees actively participating in the 5S activities to boost this concept. This is the 5S certificate that is achieved by the corporate office and all the power stations for implementation of the concept. Now, on abiding by this concept, we have faced various tangible and intangible benefits, and the tangible benefits includes the space saving and the financial benefits that was derived by the disposal of the scrap. Whereas intangible benefits were also observed, such as the good housekeeping practices were maintained, the time saving was done by easy retrievability of items, self discipline was observed among the staff, and the procurement of unnecessary inventory was also reduced. The work culture improved and the teamwork enhanced. The moral of the employees has also increased by the implementation of this concept. You can see the before and after pictures of the 5S implementation of how the trash accumulated has been removed, which gives us the space This is how the files and the toolboards have been reorganized and the stationery has been reorganized so as to reduce the retrievability time of the items. The before and after pictures of how the files were arranged and now how they have been cleaned, labeled and arranged at proper places. The walkway marking for forklift movement has been done and the fire extinguishers have been marked, entry and exit points have been marked with the push and pull marks and every marking under the seat on concept. The replicability of the 5S is that it is a very for everyone to use. It does not require any technical analysis or any technical knowledge to start. It can be practiced by any grassroots level employee as well as to the upper management, and it can be incorporated by manufacturing plants, offices, small business to the large MNCs in public and private sectors. Everyone can implement this amazing concept. The future
Sorry for interruption, ma'am. Can you please conclude your presentation in 2 minutes?
The future roadmap for 5S implementation is that we have set a frequency of the various 5S activities. For giving us this opportunity to present this case study. We also thank the jury members for patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Excellent presentation, madam. In fact, these best management practices will definitely improve the organizational behavior and employees' behavior, their moral also, and will definitely go in a long way in creating an informed and a civilized work culture. Thank you very much. Excellent work.
Thank you, sir.
I
Good
have seen,
appreciation, sir.
I have seen a similar presentation by Tata Power in Delhi as well. So the 5S system that really works. I have seen it personally. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Excellent.
We have begun our journey, but because of this COVID interruptions 2 to 3 times, our target was initially 6 to 7 months, but we could complete it in 1.5 years because of this COVID. But we have implemented it at all the sites, sir.
So don't keep this presentation with you. Just give this presentation to other departments as well, so that they may adopt it.
We have taken the feedback from all the departments and then prepared this presentation, sir.
Okay. Now you spread awareness about 5S to other departments so that they should also improve their system.
Yes, sir. Because in GSAC it has covered all our power generating sites. Sir. All
Okay.
the sites are certified for 5S. Sir.
Good work. Thank you.
That will be continued by 3 months or 6 months auditing also, sir. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Good evening, all of you. Myself, Dr. Manoj Pandey, as Chief Officer, Silvassa Municipal Council. I am presenting here regarding my regarding our solid waste management program, and I feel very Is it audible now?
Yes, sir, it's audible. You can continue.
Okay, sure. Our scheme is basically based on the solid waste management system, which is introduced in 15 October 2018. Earlier to this, Silvassa Municipal Council has no integrated solid waste management system. It was manually managed by our institution through unorganized sector laborers and our simply trucks and pickup and dumped into some designated garbage places. But first of all, I want to introduce about the Silvassa because it's a very small city. All of you know, most of the person even don't know about the Silvassa. Silvassa is basically Silvassa was a Portuguese territory which was liberated in 1954 and becoming a part of India as a union territory. It is situated basically between Gujarat and Maharashtra, and it is a home of some tribes like Warli, Konka, Dodia. It's a very kind of less educated area and unaware about these things. And we people came from union territory officers, so we are dealing with such type of issues. Before 2018, there are so many problems regarding the solid waste management. This is the area which I am talking about this. Is it pointed out your side also? My cursor is. हेलो सर, मेरी आवाज आ रही है सर?
हाँ सर.
Is my cursor is showing there?
आवाज आ रही है सर, बिल्कुल आप ठीक
Okay,
चल रहे हैं,
okay.
प्रेजेंटेशन दीजिए.
ओके, तो सिलवासा इज बेसिकली यहाँ पे उपस्थित है, गुजरात और महाराष्ट्र के बीच में. Here is Silvassa. It's basically, if I am talking about Silvassa, it is 17 kilometer area, 17 square kilometer. It's a very minimal area. And Silvassa Municipal Council के पास केवल 15 वार्ड्स हैं और टोटल पॉपुलेशन लेस देन 1 लाख, अराउंड 98,000 इसकी पॉपुलेशन है. इट्स अ वेरी स्मॉल सिटी. But Silvassa is a headquarter of Dadra and Nagar Haveli districts. This is the geographical location of the Silvassa. And now after 2020, it is merged with the Daman Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Earlier to this, it is a single union territory. Now it is merged with the Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman Diu in 26 January 2020. Solid waste simply means any material used, unused, rejected, worthless, unwanted, and household, industrial, shops, streets, etc. may be treated as solid waste. Municipal solid waste majorly consists of household waste, which we are dealing with. Construction materials, demolition, debris, sanitation, residue waste from the street sites. So due to the process of urbanization, continuous growth of population seen in the city areas, which leads to the increase of solid waste in the entire city area. This will create the pollution issues, environmental hazards, air pollution, ground pollution. All these issues is coming out of this if public are unaware about the proper disposal of the solid waste. So earlier too, municipal waste was not managed properly on the segregation, collection, transportation process and its final disposal. It was merely managed about this. So in city, there are so many garbage vulnerable points were seen in the most of the areas along with roadside, including the residential and commercial areas within the ULBs of the Silvassa. GVPs were the biggest issue of our hygiene, health and citizens of Dadra Nagar Haveli. I want to explain is that, sir, before 2018, public are very unaware about this. मार्केट्स में कुछ भी सामान खरीद रहे हैं, मतलब कुछ भी कहीं भी छोड़ दे रहे हैं. और 2018 से पहले आप शहर का मतलब बहुत ही मेजर पार्ट्स आपको कूड़ा से ढका हुआ दिखता था. तो उसको सॉर्ट आउट करने के लिए, क्योंकि छोटा सा सिटी है, वी कैन मैनेज इट प्रॉपर्ली, हमने फिर ये इंट्रोड्यूस किया आरसीपीएल के साथ एग्रीमेंट करके. चैलेंजेस वी आर एक्सप्लेनिंग हियर, द चैलेंजेस, व्हाट चैलेंजेस वी वर फेस. इट वाज डिफिकल्ट टू कन्विंस द रेसिडेंट्स ऑफ Charles for the not throwing the domestic waste in their surroundings in open areas. So these are some problems which we faced before the introducing such projects. Residents were still providing the mixed waste. तो segregation का भी सर मेजर प्रॉब्लम था कि अगर वेस्ट वो हमारा जो म्यूनिसिपल काउंसिल उठाता था वेस्ट, तो एक सिंपल से ट्रक्स में सारे वेस्ट विदाउट एनी सेग्रीगेशन वो डंप कर देते थे. प्रॉपरली हम उसको डिस्पोज नहीं कर पाते थे। तो हमारा जो डंपिंग साइट था सर, वहां पे हम करते थे, वहां से भी बहुत सारे इन्वायरमेंटल इश्यूज आ रहे थे, सच एज लीचेड ट्रीटमेंट हो रहा था, ग्राउंड वाटर पोल्यूट हो रहा था, आसपास का जो एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड था वहाँ की मिट्टी खराब हो रही थी, फर्टाइल कम हो, लैंड हमारा कम हो रहा था। तो इन सब इश्यूज को सॉर्ट आउट करने के लिए हमने इस प्रोजेक्ट को स्टार्ट किया। इसमें एक जो मेजर इशू था, हम प्लास्टिक को सर सही तरीके से डिस्पोज नहीं कर पा रहे थे। प्लास्टिक विल बिकम द मेजर हैजार्ड्स फॉर अस इन लॉन्ग टर्म। So during the setting of the solid waste management program, the local resident have also opposed to install such waste until their surroundings. उनका एप्रीहेंशन ये था सर कि इसको सेटअप होने से वहाँ पोल्यूशन होगा या कुछ स्मोक निकलेगा। उनका एक कॉमन सा एप्रीहेंशन था कि इससे उनका एरिया और पोल्यूटेड हो जाएगा। फिर उस चीज को सर उनको कन्विंस करके परसुएट करके सॉर्ट आउट किया गया। Then now it is set up in 2018. This is our solid waste management sir. Start in 2018 October, and it is continuously running from the day of starting and inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India sir. It is continuously running till the first date of inauguration. Even in Corona time also it is continuously run and processed the all solid waste management of Silvassa municipal area. सर सॉल्यूशंस की बात करें तो हमने प्रॉब्लम्स अभी हमने हाईलाइट किया। सॉल्यूशंस में बेसिकली हमने सर एसएमसी की तरफ से बायलॉज क्रिएट किए। हमने अपनी पावर को यूटिलाइज करते हुए सर म्युनिसिपल काउंसिल सॉलिड वेस्ट हैंडलिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट अमेंडमेंट बायलॉज क्रिएट किया 2020 में। It has been implemented in the Silvassa municipal area, which includes the ban of single use plastic, जो कि सर हमारा लॉन्ग टर्म डिस्पोजल का इशू हमेशा रहता था। तो सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक को हमने सर अपने लोकल लेवल पे बायलॉज क्रिएट करके इसको बैन किया। पेट बोटल्स, थर्मोकोल्स, पीओपी, प्लास्टिक स्ट्रॉज, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर बैंड इन सिलवासा म्युनिसिपल काउंसिल एरिया। Council has outsourced the municipal solid waste management to with effect from 2018. Solid waste management processing plant is installed and operational with capacity of 150 ton per day. इसकी सर ओवरऑल कैपेसिटी 150 पर डे है। इसके अलावा सर हमने और इसको ऑर्गेनाइज करने के लिए सिटी का रूट प्लान बनाया, जो हमारे पास सर करीब 38 व्हीकल्स जो रन करती हैं सिटी एरिया में, उनका प्रॉपर रूट प्लान अलोंग विद टाइमिंग, पर्टिकुलर किस घर पे, क्योंकि हमारा सर छोटा एरिया है, वी कैन मैनेज इजली। हमने एवरी हाउस होल्ड को टाइम दिया कि आपके घर पे 1-2 मिनट का रेंज रखा कि आप 2 मिनट के अंदर आपके घर पे ये गाड़ी आएगी। तो उनको सर अपने डस्टबिन से डायरेक्ट ट्रक में कूड़ा डालना, कहीं भी इकट्ठा नहीं है। तो हमारा सिटी बेसिकली सर गार्बेज फ्री सिटी भी है और हमारे यहाँ कोई भी डस्टबिन नहीं रखा गया है सर। हम डायरेक्ट घर से कचरा अपने ट्रक में रखते हैं और वहां से प्रोसेसिंग प्लांट में चला जाता है। तो बेसिक इसका पर्पज ये था सर, रूट प्लान करना, टाइम डिसाइड करना, जिससे कि हमारी व्हीकल को हम ट्रैक कर पाए। उसके लिए जीपीएस लोकेशन भी इंस्टॉल किया गया सारे व्हीकल्स में, तो उसके हम लाइव ट्रैकिंग कर सकते हैं, कभी भी किसी भी व्हीकल को हम ट्रैक कर सकते हैं। इवन स्पीड आल्सो सर, कि कितनी स्पीड पे वो रन कर रही है गाड़ी और किस जगह पे मूव कर रही है। और ये तो हो गया सर हमारा सर्विस डिलीवरी लेवल पे। पब्लिक को हमने आईसी एक्टिविटी के थ्रू अवेयर किया और उनको बताया कि आप कैसे इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं, आप कैसे कूड़े को सेग्रीगेट करके डायरेक्ट हमें ट्रक्स में सबमिट कर सकते हैं। तो ये चीजें सर प्रॉपर्ली अभी मैनेज हो रही है यहाँ पे। इन बिटवीन सर मार्केट एरियाज में हमने सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक बैन किया, कोशिश किया कि कचरा कम से कम निकले। उसके लिए जो हमने बायलॉज की बात की, उसमें हम सर प्रॉपर इसमें इन्फोर्समेंट एक्टिविटी करते रहते हैं, चालान करते रहते हैं। और साथ ही साथ हमने एसएमसी एरिया में सर 15,000 मल्टीपर्पज क्लॉथ्स बैग डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए शॉपकीपर्स को। और वहां पे जो भी पब्लिक से, जैसे ये सर क्लॉथ्स बैग हमने बनवाए कपड़े के और सबको दिया कि अपने पास रखें और इनको पब्लिक को जो भी 10-5 रुपए में बेचना है दे। तो ये काफी अच्छा सर हमारा सक्सेसफुल रहा। और 28,000 ट्विन डस्टबिन भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए हमने रेसिडेंट्स के बीच, जिससे कि हम सर सेग्रीगेशन को इंश्योर कर पाए कि वो सेग्रीगेशन प्रॉपर चलता रहे। ऐसा ना हो कि एक बार लोगों की आदत में आए और फिर वो ना हो पाए। तो हम ये टाइमली सर उनको करते रहते हैं। फर्दर सर स्टिल वी आर प्लानिंग द थर्ड phase of segregation. So we are going to introduce the bins segregation for hazardous waste. तो रिसेंटली सर विद इन 1 मंथ हम ये हैजार्डस वेस्ट के लिए भी सेग्रीगेशन का प्रोसेस कर देंगे। हैजार्डस वेस्ट में बेसिकली सर हमारे बल्ब्स, ट्यूबलाइट, एलईडी लाइट, सिरिंज, एक्सपायर्ड मेडिसिन, जो डोमेस्टिक लेवल पे सर हैजार्डस चीजें निकलती हैं, उनको सेग्रीगेट करने के लिए 3rd लेवल का सर हम बिन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने जा रहे हैं अपने हाउस होल्ड लेवल पे। उसके अलावा अवेयरनेस के लिए सर हम लगातार अपनी जो जिंगल्स और ये सब अवेयरनेस एक्टिविटी करते रहते हैं। डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन सर, वी आर स्टिल टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस। हमारा 100% से सेग्रीगेटेड है और सोर्स लेवल पे सेग्रीगेशन है, हम कहीं बीच में मिड लेवल पे नहीं करते। हमारे सर व्हीकल में भी सेग्रीगेशन के लिए 2 कंपार्टमेंट बने हुए हैं इन एवरी ईच एंड एवरी व्हीकल्स। देयर इज 2 कंपार्टमेंट्स फॉर ड्राई वेट एंड वेट वेस्ट, दोनों के लिए अलग अलग बने हुए। तीसरा हम क्रिएट करने जा रहे हैं सर व्हीकल में भी एक छोटा इसमें बॉक्स क्रिएट करेंगे इंटरनल पार्ट में, जिसमें हम हैजार्डस वेस्ट भी रखेंगे हर व्हीकल में। उसको प्रॉपर्ली क्लीन हैजार्डस वेस्ट को डिस्पोज करने के लिए प्लांट पे एक छोटा यूनिट लगाएंगे जो हैजार्डस वेस्ट को डिस्पोज करेगा। इसकी कैपेसिटी सर 150 टन पर डे है, जो अंडर यूटिलाइज है। अभी हमारी सिटी उतनी छोटी है कि सर पूरा उसकी कैपेसिटी भी यूटिलाइज नहीं हो पा रही है, तो ये प्लांट सर आराम से 10 ईयर्स के लिए कैपेबल है टू टेक केयर ऑफ द सिटी। इसके अलावा सर जो इनोवेटिव चीजों में आए तो ये लास्ट पॉइंट है, प्रोसेसिंग ऑफ सॉलिड वेस्ट हैज बीन अचीव्ड इन द सिलवासा म्युनिसिपल काउंसिल एरिया एंड अमाउंट ऑफ 180 टन मंथली कंपोस्ट इज मेड फ्रॉम द वेट वेस्ट। जो वेट वेस्ट निकलता है सर डोमेस्टिक कचरा, किचन का जो कचरा होता है, उससे हम हर मंथ सर 180 टन कंपोस्ट भी बना रहे हैं, जिसको आसपास के हम सर फार्मर्स को दे देते हैं, आउट ऑफ द कास्ट देते हैं उनको सर, हम बहुत मिनिमल चार्ज करते हैं, उनको हम फ्री में एक तरह से दे रहे हैं ये कंपोस्ट।
Sorry for interruption, sir. Can you please conclude your presentation in 2 minutes?
Yes sir. एंड लास्ट वन इज द लीचेट प्रोसेसिंग के बाद हमारा सर जो लीचेट निकलता है उसकी कैपेसिटी है 24 KLD, और इसको हम सर हमारा पूरा लीचेट 100% लीचेट ट्रीट हो जाता है। आफ्टर ट्रीटमेंट ये सर स्टेजेज हैं, निकलता इस कंडीशन में है। फर्स्ट लेवल के फिल्ट्रेशन के बाद ये कंडीशन है, एंड आफ्टर द फाइनल ट्रीटमेंट दिस विल लुक लाइक दिस। इसका हम यूज गार्डनिंग में और सर फ्लोर क्लीनिंग में करते हैं अपना, तो कोई भी यहाँ पे 0 ग्राउंड वाटर पोल्यूशन है, पानी पूरा सर जो भी लीचेट का वाटर है 100% ट्रीट हो जाता है, इन सिटू ट्रीटमेंट हो जाता है। तीसरा सर प्लास्टिक वेस्ट जो निकलता है उसका हम ये ब्रिक्स, इस तरह का ब्रिक्स बनाते हैं जिसको हम पेवर ब्लॉक्स अपने सिटी एरिया में ही पेवर ब्लॉक्स या डिवाइडिंग में यूज कर लेते हैं। ये हमारे प्लास्टिक वेस्ट से ब्रिक्स बनाते हैं। साथ में छोटे छोटे ग्रेन्यूल्स के पार्ट्स बनाते हैं, उसको मार्केट में सर हमारा आरसीपीएल जो एजेंसी है वो बेच के प्लास्टिक सीड्स या फर्नीचर या किसी भी पेट बॉटल्स में यूज कर लेते हैं। तो इट्स बेसिकली 100% रिसाइकल्ड आवर प्लास्टिक वेस्ट। ये हमारी लोकेशन है, ओवरव्यू है सर, बर्ड आई व्यू है हमारे प्लांट का। अभी इसकी सर कैपेसिटी अंडर यूटिलाइज है, तो इन फ्यूचर वी विल कैपेबल टू 100% ट्रीट आवर सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट। थैंक यू।
बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन है आपका, प्रयास भी बहुत अच्छा है। और ये जो आप सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट कर रहे हैं, इसमें रिसाइकलिंग वाला जो पार्ट है वो कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग है? हाउ मेनी परसेंटेज ऑफ द वेस्ट यू आर एबल टू रिसाइकिल?
रिसाइकल में सर अभी बेसिकली हमारा सर एक तो इस पे फोकस है ब्रिक, इसको हमारा सर स्मार्ट सिटी भी डिसाइडेड है, सिलवासा स्मार्ट सिटी इज आल्सो प्रोजेक्ट्स आर रनिंग। तो वी आर प्लानिंग टू मोस्टली द प्लास्टिक मटेरियल कन्वर्टेड इनटू ब्रिक सो दैट वी कैन यूज इन आवर सिटी आल्सो। हम इसको बाहर जाने ही नहीं देंगे और इसकी देखरेख हम खुद करते रहेंगे। तो मोस्ट ऑफ मतलब प्लास्टिक मटेरियल हो जाता है सर। ग्रेन्यूल्स जो क्रिएट करते हैं सर, ग्रेन्यूल्स वो मार्केट में छोटे छोटे प्लास्टिक ग्रेन्यूल्स क्रिएट करके उसको सर वो मार्केट में बेचते हैं, कॉमर्शियल लेवल पे बिकता है, और उसका सर प्लास्टिक चेयर्स बनाने में या पेट बोटल्स बनाने में या जो भी है सर। प्लस हमारा सर जो सीमेंट फैक्ट्रीज को एज ए फ्यूल जो जाता है वो भी बेचते हैं हमारी, बट ये एजेंसी सर उसको देखरेख करती है। तो वहां पे सर रेसिड्यू ऐसे बच नहीं रहा, तो वी कैन से 40% अराउंड 40% जो हमारा है प्रोसेसिंग हो जा रहा है, कंपोस्टिंग हो जा रहा है। जो सर डिग्रेडेबल मैटर है वो कंपोस्ट में चला जा रहा है, तो एवरी लेवल पे सर वो इंश्योर हो रहा है।
सिटी भी छोटा है तो ऐसे में लैंडफिल साइट भी आइडेंटिफाई करना थोड़ा मुश्किल काम है।
ये सर लैंडफिल साइट हमारा वहीं पे सर प्लांट के बगल ही अंडर, क्योंकि इन्वायरमेंटल क्लियरेंस के लिए सर फाइनल स्टेज पे है, उसके बाद तुरंत सर हो जाएगा वहीं पे इंस्टीट्यूट वो भी है, क्योंकि प्लांट का एरिया बड़ा रखा गया है। वो सर एग्रीमेंट का पार्ट है, लैंडफिल साइट वहीं पे बन रहा है, तो वो सर एग्रीमेंट का पार्ट है। आई थिंक विद इन 6 मंथ वो हमारा इंस्टॉल हो जाएगा सर, वो भी फाइनल लेवल पे है इन्वायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन क्लियरेंस के लिए सर।
ओके ओके, धन्यवाद, काफी अच्छा प्रयास है आपका, धन्यवाद।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
It's a good
एनी क्वेश्चन
scientific,
सर?
it's a good scientific way to dispose of the solid waste and
यस सर।
to address the problem of this waste. काफी आपने टेक्निकली इसको हैंडल भी किया है. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are trying, sir. We are still working on in this project, sir, and we want to improve more and more. Basically, we are working on this, sir. Plastic waste. We want to reuse the plastic waste in our city also.
नेचुरली जितना भी वेस्ट हम कम से कम करें, और दूसरा है उसको सेग्रीगेट कर पाएं, और तीसरा जो प्लास्टिक वगैरह के हैं उनको रीयूज कर पाएं,
Yes, sir.
तो हमारी प्रॉब्लम सोल्व हो जाएगी. तो आपने काफी टेक्निकल चीजों को यहाँ पर यूज किया है.
Yes, sir. सर इवन सर हम जो सीजर करते हैं सिटी में, रेगुलर हम लोग इन्फोर्स करते हैं, सीजर के बाद सेम मटेरियल हम इन्हीं को देते हैं, इनके पास श्रेडर्स भी है, वो श्रेड करके ग्रेनुअल्स बना देते हैं सर, उसको हम कमर्शियल देके, जिससे कि वो फिर वापस रीयूजेबल आइटम में यूज हो, जो कि सिंगल यूज में ना आए सर. तो हम ऐसा कोशिश करते हैं.
ठीक है, अच्छा है, बहुत
Yes.
अच्छा काम किया.
थैंक यू सर. मे आई साइन आउट सर? May I sign out, sir?
Yes, you can, Faizan.
Pemzang Tenzing. I'm a geotechnical engineer, coordinating the Mangan landslide project. And with me is Mr. Prabhakar Rai. He is the director of Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority, which has the mandate for all disasters, including landslides. So, as you're well aware, Sikkim is a Himalayan state, and in the formation of our landscape, basically there are two forces, agencies that act. One is the forces of tectonics, which is squeezing and raising up the mountains, whereas the other agencies are gravity and the forces of nature, which is degrading and flattening the mountain. So these two forces are counteracting each other, and in this landslide is a very important let's say agency for this second process. You cannot underestimate the importance of landslides, the effects of landslides on our region. For example, today I came from Mangan, which is the capital, the headquarters of the northernmost district of Sikkim, and I came over to Gangtok this afternoon to attend this meeting. But I crossed multiple landslides along the way. A lot of houses were damaged because of the rains that happened in the last 2-3 days, which also I think happened in Delhi and other places. But in Sikkim, it had a very tremendous effect. Next, I will give you a background of the project that we are doing, and then I will give you some technical details and project details, and then I will give you a project overview and some of the lessons we learned from this project.
Sorry, sir, for interruption. I believe you are on the slide 1 only.
No,
We are able to see only slide 1.
Yep. तपाईँले अर्को शेयर गर्नु अर्को खोल्नु भएको छ दुईटा खोल्नु भयो हैन अर्को चाहिँ निकाल्नु पछाडिको कुन चाहिँ what I'm showing you is Mangan town. This again, I told you, was the headquarters of the North District, which is the northernmost district of Sikkim. And to give a brief background of the town, this was founded in 1903 during a young husband's first foray into Tibet. So as you can see, the landslide has been there from a long time back. It was a much smaller landslide, and before there was just a small mule path across the town. Later on in 1960, we had a jeepable road was constructed in the town, and up to 2012, the road was there. After that, the road itself was abandoned because of the continuous landsliding. And many of the houses that you see with dashed lines that you see, those were all abandoned during the big rains in 1983. So this is a very old landslide. It's a continuing landslide, and we've been able to tackle this landslide. So now, this slide I'm showing you this is a photo taken in 2020, just before we started this project. So as you can see, this was the ones where you have shown the number 1, 2, 3. These are houses that collapsed in 2020. There was a big rains in June and July of 2020, and these houses collapsed. And what we predicted was that the houses marked A, B, C, D, E would also collapse in 2021 if we didn't start the project immediately. And so the government was kind enough to sanction the project, and we could start before the 2021 monsoon. Next, I will give you some project details. Now, this is a photograph of the landslide before we started work on it. As you can see, firstly, the main body of the landslide is moving down, which you can see with a large black arrow, and the boundary of the landslide is shown in dotted lines. But what is also happening is along the sides, because the landslide has deepened and widened, and it has lengthened also. What has happened is the houses along the side also are getting in danger, because the side escarpments are collapsing into the landslide. So we have to tackle not only the landslide, also the side escarpments have to be stabilized. So to do what we did was we made multiple rows of piles to firstly control the movement of the main landslide body, and secondly, along the sides, what we did was we did some shotcreting work, and we put something called a self-drilling anchors, and then we dewatered it also. And besides that, we also put a lot of surface drains to drain away the water from the landslide body. The basic project elements, as I told you that time, were piles, self-drilling anchors, and drainage holes. These are all underground. You cannot see them. So these, but the majority of the cost is involved is in these elements. Besides that, there are some surface elements, shotcreting, surface drains, and other minor elements. The costs for these were around 30%. Then a little bit of technical thing. The main, as I told you, we had multiple rows of land piles to control the main body of the landslide. So this is a cross section of a typical pile. So an interesting thing was that we got the bedrock at around 10.5 meters depth, and the soil, the bedrock was basically schist, weathered schist, and the soil was silty sand, and we got groundwater at around 5 to 6 meters, which again used to fluctuate whenever there was a large downpour or a large rainfall event. It used to rise by 3 or 4 meters. So these are the interesting parts of this piling system. Besides this piling system, we had secondly self-drilling anchors that I explained before also. This is basically hollow steel rod that you drill into the soil or rock, and then you fill it with grout. And then you have horizontal drains which you drain out the water from the soil or rock, and then a shotcreting face so that the facing is not eroded away. We were hoping that the horizontal drains would also work to decrease the water table level, but I think because the soil is silty sand, I don't know how much success we got in that aspect of it. So now this is basically of the semi-finished product of the top scarp, the head scarp. That's at the top of the landslide. So you can see some drainage holes. Then you can see some plates with self-drilling anchors and other places SDS without the plates. So it's work is still in progress. It's an ongoing project. It is not complete. So now this is basically an artist's impression that we made during before we started the work. So to do something, we have to first try and visualize. So we Photoshop and we made some art thing, but there are a lot of changes after we had visualized this. For example, we interacted with the NDMA experts. They came and visited the site. So what they said was no bioremediation in this middle portion. You put short fitting. So we are doing that now. We're putting a lot of short fitting. And another thing, they said no roads in the landside body because it's going to increase the weight, no houses. So all these will not be part of the the project in the short term. Maybe in the longer term, because there's a lot of public pressure to reopen the roads to the old bazaar. So in the longer term, we might have that. But in the short term, we are not having any of those things. So now just a overview of the project. The cost of the project was around 16.75 crores, but the costs might go up to around 19 crores. And the tender completion date was February 2023, but I think by December of this year, we should be able to complete that. And then basically the lessons that we have learned for future projects is that we've now understood a lot of the technology that we have used in this project. This is something new. All these things are something new for us. So now we have understood the utility, the limitations of all this, the costing and all that. So we can use this for, in fact, we are planning to use this for 2 or 3 other sites in Sikkim, because we badly need to do something besides building walls and some other new methods we have to try and use in our landside areas. And specifically from the project, we had a lot of challenges. So what we've learned is that the site investigation portion of the project is probably the most important portion. We tend to neglect that, because as I think engineers, we actually need to have a proper model. We need to have a proper model of what is actually happening. We need to know exactly before we can suggest remedies for that. So that was actually lacking in this thing. So that's one lesson that we have learned. Others is that instrumentation is very costly. If costs allow, we have to put that also during the initial stage itself. We are putting instrumentation after the project is over. We are planning to do that, but we have to actually do it at the beginning. And another point is that landside remediation work is basically done in supposedly done in the dry season, which is a very short period for us. We had a lot of problems because of the monsoons, but that is another. At least when we start the work, we have to try and target, let's say, October or November of a year to start the work. So that is something I think we have learned also. Then, because this is an underground structure, most of the stuff is underground. So there will be a lot of deviations in the design, in the initial planning, in the costing. There will be a lot of deviation. So we have to be ready for that, all that. So these are a few things that we learned from this project. And thank you. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Very important subject here we are dealing with. I myself have been subjected to such landslides and stranded in Sikkim 2-3 times. I know this is a very serious issue there, particularly the road connecting from Siliguri to Gangtok also closed for many hours in the rainy season. Please keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, have you ever contacted some international expert on the subject?
On a personal basis, we have contacted Dr. Bhandari. He's an Dr. R.K. Bhandari. He's an international expert. But for this project, it is basically we have used experts provided by NDMA. So they are Delhi-based experts. You may be knowing Mr. Patni. He's fully involved with this project. So They are experts provided by NDMA.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, Odisha Fire Service owes its origin to pre-independent era as a Odisha Police, as a branch of Odisha Police. Odisha Fire Service owes its origin to pre-independent era as an wing of Odisha Police with an objective to save lives and properties of state from clutches of fire, but to enforce fire preventive measures in premises which are likely to cause risk of fire. Government was pleased to enact Odisha Fire Service Act on 27th December 1993, Odisha Act 30 of 1993. Again, for smooth implementation of provisions of this Act, Odisha Fire Prevention and Fire Safety Rules 2017 came into force on 4th October 2017, and some rules were amended in the year 2019. As per the procedure of this rule, the owners, occupiers, developers, proprietor, builders of premises, as specified in Rule 9, shall at all time have a valid fire safety certificate. Our motto is to minimum human interaction, and it's citizen-centric, user-friendly, hassle-free digital service, time-bound public service, and electronic disposal of applications. Then problem statement, delay in delivery of recommendations and certificates, huge paperwork, physical appearance, submission of application and payment of application fees. Seen before the project, huge quantity of records, those dossiers had to maintain. It was very time taking to maintain such records, much expensive to buy papers, files and office stationery. There was chance of missing records, files also. It was very time taking to retrieve old data file on a specific matter. To prepare data sheet statement for a particular period is too difficult as it requires to collect from different sources. Manipulation of alternation in records was easy for any dishonest employee. There is a chance for misappropriation of government revenue. There was no scope for applicant, citizen to get rid of harassment, to get service on time. There was no scope to monitor centrally on every activities of employees. We have in Odisha, sir, we have 342 fire stations, and it is it's spread all over the state. There was no scope to monitor centrally on every activities of employees. Applicant, citizen has to reach office physically again and again to know the status of his application, by which they have to bear the loss of money and time. Then there was a huge communication gap between citizen and employee in delivery of public services. It was difficult to track expat license and fire NOC, sir. Then project outcome. Issuance of hassle-free digital fire safety recommendations before construction of building, then fire safety certificate after construction of building, and its renewals. Average delivery period for fire safety certificate is from 9 to 12 days with compliance to Odisha Right to Public Service Act 2012, sir. Previously, the manual process of issuance of fire safety recommendations and certificates consumed more time with manpower and paperwork, due to which this public service delivery was not robust and free from human intervention. It caused much dissatisfaction among the applicant and seekers. Agnisama Seva portal is a revolutionary step towards containing all delay and dilemmas of public with adherence of standard procedures, sir. Since the solution is implemented on 31st July 2020, till now we have received 5,817 numbers of online applications has been received by our portal, out of which 3,658 numbers of approvals. That means the recommendations and certificates are issued along with digital certificates and digital signatures and certificates within the stipulated time frame of 9 to 12 days. Total disposal of application is 92% of the total application received, and the rest 8% are in progress, sir. Compliance. It is a 5T mandate of Government of Odisha, sir. It's a teamwork, technology-based, transparency, transformation, and time-bound service. Odisha Fire Service Act 1993, it adheres to Odisha Fire Service Act 1993, Odisha Right to Public Service Act 2012, and its subsequent amendment. The dynamic dashboard of Agnisama Seva portal is monitorable from citizens to Chief Minister's Office of Odisha and open to all. Then methodology, planning, concept design, implementation methodology and approach, preparation of system requirement, specification, application development, quality checking and testing and deployment, query management module, online submission of application, online payment of application fees, online tracking of application status, online tracking of query raised by the authorized officer, download final e-sign certificate from the web portal as well as from registered email. Third-party verification of online application and certificates provision is there, sir. It is time-bound delivery, transparent procedure, technology adaptation, teamwork, and transformation of fire prevention behavior and approach. The applicant all over the globe shall visit this site and apply for fire safety certificates and fire safety recommendation for building and premises situated in the state of Odisha. This is this is our dashboard, sir. In Agnisama Seva portal, there is authorized member, and for applicant, and right side there is third-party verification. One can verify from any across the globe, sir. Then this is our fire safety recommendation prior to construction of the building. Then after completion of the building, we are issuing fire safety certificate. Everything is online. Then once issued after 2 years and for commercial buildings, and after 5 years for residential building, renewal process is there. Then NOC for temporary structures like firecrackers license and other temporary structure license, and other services like fire occurrence and incident certificates are also issued through this portal. Copy of fire report and fire incident certificate, fire incident certificate for insured premises and for uninsured premises. This facility is also there in the portal. This is one demo copy, sir. This is on left side, the Sponge Iron Private Limited, Balikuda Jagatsinghpur in Odisha, one district. This like this, the application number is shown, applicant's name, application submitted on date and received on date, and approved and certificate issued. Everything can be verified in 3 phases, sir. This is the fire safety certificate of building premises constructed without fire safety recommendation and application status. This is scrutiny of application and raising query. It is completed. Then this is the process. One authorized officer who is authorized officer, he can also see another in higher officer. Also we can verify, and in also Chief Minister office, any application, if there is some problem or complaint, he can or they can verify it, sir. And this is fire safety recommendation for proposed building, then fire safety certificate for construction building and renewal building, and all database it is found in this way. And we have received the application for recommendation. It is 967. Number of application approved is 744. Minimum time taken for fire safety recommendation, in minimum time taken, sir, that is 1 day. Within 1 day also our authorized officer they have issued. Then maximum time taken for fire safety recommendation for a huge building and a huge area for correction of their drawing and for staircases and other facilities. They have taken time from architectural side. So that is maximum days is 77 days. Average time taken for fire safety recommendation is 12 days.
Sorry, sir, for interruption. Can you please conclude your presentation in 2 minutes?
Yes, sir. This is our Odisha fire safety recommendation. Is left side is showing and certificate format is in right side, sir. Then this is the fire safety financial year 2020 to 31st July to 2020 to 21. Fire safety is recommendation certificate, and for application received fire safety recommendation 1139, application approved 861, application rejected 220. Fire safety certificate 3520, application approved 1867, and application rejected 1367. Then renewal application received 317, application approved certificate issued 223, and application rejected due to non-submission of some related relevant documents 29. And our future prospective is zero casualty module. The project can be proliferated to quicken personnel mobilization and operational management during firefighting and disaster combat. Asset inventory module, already a database has been prepared to organize the huge number of equipments, appliances, and sophisticated tools along with vehicles. It will enhance the preparedness of firefighters dynamically with proper maintenance. Mobile application with field officers will give the access of application at their hand. Mobile app for the fire prevention certification. Thank you, sir. Thank you all jury members. Any questions, please?
Thank you, Rameshji. Very good presentation to the point. In fact, in your area, it is very good that you are providing online fire safety certificates and also renewing them. But sometimes it is very essential that periodically, or it is very necessary that you check the buildings, particularly the big buildings, whether they are really following the prescribed norms which you have, on the basis of which you have provided them the certificate. How with the few staff, I think it is also difficult for you to check each and every building. So how do you take care of that?
Yes, sir. In Odisha, actually, we have 342 fire stations. स्प्रेड ये पूरा प्रदेश में पूरा फैला हुआ है. तो हमारा जिस एरिया में जिस बिल्डिंग को हम लोग सर्टिफिकेट इशू किए हैं उसका एक कॉपी, सर्टिफिकेट का कॉपी उसी फायर स्टेशन में एक कॉपी रहता है. और इसको हम एवरी 6 मंथ में एक फायर इवैक्यूएशन मॉक ड्रिल करते हैं. और हमारा एक इसमें जो रूल्स में है कि हम लोग कभी भी नोटिस देके उसको 3 डेज का नोटिस देके वो प्रीमिसेस को विजिट कर सकते हैं. अगर उसमें हमारे नॉर्म्स को डेविएट किया होगा तो 15 दिन का उसको सुधारने का समय देते हैं. अगर उस टाइम पे उन लोग नहीं सुधारते हैं तो उसको सर्टिफिकेट को कैंसिल कर दिया जाता है. इसको इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया, प्रिंट मीडिया में भी आता है. और हमारे पूरा जो एरिया में सभी फायर स्टेशन ऑफिसर जो हैं वो मॉक ड्रिल करने के साथ इसको जांच भी करते हैं और ऑथराइज अफसर के साथ भी जाते हैं. उन लोग हमारा ये टीम मेंबर एक ग्रुप मेंबर में जाते हैं इंस्पेक्शन के लिए. तो सभी का इसमें इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहता है. इसमें जिस किसी को भी इशू हुआ है उन लोगों को भी इसका पूरा इसमें नीचे दिया गया है कि उन लोग कभी भी इसको मैनिपुलेट नहीं करेंगे. सभी फ्लोर में इसका फायर सेफ्टी सर्टिफिकेट का डिस्प्ले भी रहता है सर. तो इसको हम पूरा बारीकी से जांच करते हैं. और आपको हम ये बता देना चाहेंगे सर, जैसे भारतवर्ष में कोविड के टाइम पे बहुत जगह पे फायर ऑकरेंस में लोगों का डेथ हुआ था, जो कि उड़ीसा में 0 कैजुअलिटी हुआ था, क्योंकि हम लोगों का बारीकी में इसको चेकिंग वगैरह हुआ था सर.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all jury members. Thank you all, sir.
रमेश जी, जैसे जैसे सिटीज डेवलप होती हैं वैसे वैसे अनऑथराइज कंस्ट्रक्शन भी होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है. तो उस सिचुएशन के अंदर में फायर फाइटिंग इक्विपमेंट्स का या फायर टेंडर का साइट पे पहुंचना भी डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. तो हाउ डू यू मैनेज दिस?
सर, अभी हमारे जो नया डीजीपी साहब आए हैं और हमारे, आपको पता है सर, उड़ीसा फायर सर्विस डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में देश में काफी आगे हैं, और उसी के लिए हमारे अभी जैसे छोटे जो व्हीकल्स हैं, जो 207 व्हीकल 207 व्हीकल में जो इम्पोर्टेड आपका जो इक्विपमेंट है उसमें वाटर मिस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, और बाइक में भी वाटर मिस्ट वाला जो बाइक है वो सभी का प्रबंध किया गया है। और जहाँ पे बिजी मार्केट्स हैं हमारे यहाँ, बिजी मार्केट के आसपास जैसे पुलिस का पीसीआर कंट्रोल व्हीकल रहता है, उसी तरह का हमारे यहाँ 207 व्हीकल में माउंटेड मिनी फायर फाइटिंग व्हीकल है, जो कि वो एरिया में, छोटे छोटे गली एरिया में उसको जाके या तो बाइक में जाके हमारे लोग उसको फायर फाइटिंग को टाइमली उसको कर देते हैं। और दूसरा चीज है हमारा सर, हमारे यहाँ पूरा ERS जो 112 जो सिस्टम है, वो सभी व्हीकल में हमारे पास 1500 MDT सेट्स हैं, जो कि व्हीकल में भी है और स्टेशन में भी लगा हुआ है। तो उसको मॉनिटर करने के लिए हमें बहुत ईजी होता है। सभी अभी ये जो GPS बेस्ड है, जो कोई भी उसमें पे खबर देता है तो हमारे यहाँ जो फोर्स हैं स्टेशन को छोड़ के आउटसाइड द स्टेशन हमारे इन लोग डिप्लॉयमेंट हैं सर।
थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू ऑल।